All right, guys, the highlights from today in our chat room. The market has been pretty stingy as far as giving up really nice gainers lately, but today certainly an exception. Now, let me explain real quick how the format works in the chat room. What we have is members cannot see each other's posts. So as a member, they can only see moderators' posts, and there's about 8 to 10 of us moderators. But we can see member posts. So what we ask the members to do is, hey, if you see something, type it. If we read your idea and we agree with it, we'll go ahead and repost it and send a chime so everyone in the room can look at it. And that's exactly what happened with Plug today. One of our members, Leslie, who I think is a newer member, posted PLUG, and the trade idea was 625 with a stop only 7 cents below at 618. And I looked at it and I totally agreed. Now what you had here, Plug gapped up, sold off, but then really rallied. Now, this is the first time you see Plug came down to here, did not take out the lows of the day. This is the first time in recent past since the crazy run-up that Plug rallied and didn't give it all back and then some. So it's holding up pretty well, and then you've got this really nice tight base with the high of day above. So here's the early high, and then you've got this really tight base. So my thinking is finally we break this base, we hit new highs, and afternoon breakouts are much stronger, by the way, generally on something like Plug. Than something where it rallies in the morning. You see in the morning it tends to give it all back during the lunchtime slowdown. But if you get an afternoon setup like this, high of day just above, this base break idea right there with a stop really right about there, you're probably going to get an afternoon push through the high of the day in a nice rally, especially with Plug's daily chart as beaten up as it is. So short squeeze potential here. So anyway, I passed it along, chimed it, 625, 618 stop. There's the base break. Now the high of day is in sight. And then you get, look at the volume. These are 2-minute candles. 1.5 million in 2 minutes. Now you know you've got something. And I'll just scroll across all the way till the rest of the day, till the close. And it's even higher in after hours. So Plug moved from 625 to 848. I believe it's like a 35% gain in a couple hours on 7 cents risk per share, that is. And just an unbelievable call by Leslie. And many of us did really well in Plug today. Now my calls, I called XGTI. Right there where that arrow is, a little bit lower, probably right about here. 322 with a 312 stop. It got a little volume flagged and then really took off and went over 380. I think XGTI went to 382. So from 322 to 382, 60 cents. Comes out to approximately 18% move in our favor, and the stop was a dime below, never got hit. And here's the daily chart just to show you. Try that again. Here's a daily chart just to show you why that was interesting to me. You had this crazy move, which by the way doubled this day. We were in on it that day as well, but then it pulled back, nice bounce, flagging for a few days, and was really holding up well this morning. And hence the call. And this one still looks, I mean, you get up over these couple of recent highs here, could make a move back towards 5. This one's worth watching. This one can make some really nice percentage moves. But anyway, a nice move for us today. Akamai, AKAM, one of our All-Stars Ayal, called this one bottom feeding. This one was just getting beat up. And he simply called this right over that candle right there. Just called it over this candle, which made the entry 56.98. Worst case stop only 15 cents below, and he literally picked the bottom clean there. From 56.98 went to 58, so over $1 on I think it was 15 cents risk. And then one of our moderators, Beat Turk, called Target long at 58.82 with a low of day stop, and this was actually on the way back up. It had already come down, and then he called it long, 58.82 on the way back up, and we got a nice, pretty quick move there. These are 5-minute candles, so over the course of about 25 minutes or so, went from 58.82 to 59.37, and we're never underwater. We were never underwater once it triggered. So there's the highlights from the room today. One other thing. I did suggest, but I didn't send a chime with this one because we were 2 minutes into the session. I did type into the chat room, and again, the market's been so tough lately, and so weak and giving up rallies that I just didn't want to get anybody in trouble So I didn't send a chime with it, and I wasn't confident enough to call this 2 minutes in as far as, hey, here's a trade. But I typed into the chat room, BGMD is meeting our what we call Tokyo parameters, which will just be a grab right here at $1.95 with a low of day stop, which would have been $1.88. And look at that volume in 2 minutes, 300,000 shares. That's a lot, especially for this stock. And I like the daily chart. So anyone that grabbed it at $1.95, I mean, it went pretty quickly to 240. That's a huge percentage gain too. I didn't do anything with that myself. I didn't trade it. I wasn't confident enough to take a trade that early, but it certainly worked for those that took it. All right, now I'm going to quit babbling, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.